Hi guys, this is Raf from RP Med. Deciding on your career is difficult. It affects what you will do for the following 40 years or more. And you might not have had the experience to be sure of what you really want to do. I know, because I was there before. In high school, my dream was being a rock guitarist of all things. It was only until I was well into my university degree that I decided on a career. In this video, I'll discuss 4 reasons why you should study medicine and start a career as a doctor. Without further delay, let's get right into it. Reason number 1, you actually use what you studied. This sounds like the most obvious statement, doesn't it? Of course, if you spent 3 years or more in university studying something and getting yourself into a huge debt, you would expect that you will definitely use that knowledge for the rest of your working life. The sad answer for many is no. And it has been this way for many years. And I can give you a couple examples from the people in my life. So one is a very close friend of mine who studied science with me. He was extremely brainy and was very good at science. He now works at an advertising firm. His work requires absolutely none of his tertiary education skills. Another friend who also studied science with me now works as a coach in a junior soccer team. My dad studied chemical engineering, specializing in polymerization. He has worked in marketing and ran businesses and restaurants. He has never worked as an engineer. As you can see, it is not common that people find themselves in a career that lets them use the knowledge that they have studied for in university. In medicine, you'll learn basic science, physiology, pharmacology, anatomy, pathology, epidemiology, and even research techniques. As a doctor, you'll be using all of these. In fact, many specialist training involves an examination of exactly these materials. Reason number 2, there is actually a very wide variety. Not all doctors are created equal, and certainly not all doctors do the same thing in the same environment. Medical specialties can be broken down into 4 big categories: surgery, internal medicine, general practice, and other. Surgical specialties mostly involve treating patients by operating on them, so it often deals with an abnormality of an organ. It includes surgeries such as appendicitis surgery, bypass surgery for the heart, and cancer removal surgery. Surgical specialties are typically hands-on with a great emphasis on practical skills and dexterity. Internal medicine involves treating patients without operating on them. It typically treats patients with medications, but there is a much larger variability when compared with surgical specialties. For example, geriatricians, who are the aged care specialists, tend not to use any invasive interventions, meaning that they treat mostly with medications only. Cardiologists, who are the heart specialists, on the other hand, very frequently use invasive interventions, such as insertion of coronary stents, which keeps the blood vessels open. General practice mostly involves treating patients in the community, and the general practitioners don't work in hospitals. The main focus is on prevention and being the first point of contact for most patients. This includes managing various inputs from different specialties. But the story is very different for GPs working in the remote rural areas. Because of the shortage of specialists in such areas, some rural GPs take on a larger variety of duties, such as managing patients in a hospital and performing surgeries. The other category includes specialties such as radiology, pathology, and critical care. As you can see, this was a very broad breakdown. This goes to show that there is a large variety within medicine, and there is a specialty for everyone. Reason number 3, you actually make a difference in people's lives. This is one of the most rewarding aspects of working as a doctor. Of course, the assumption here is that you are someone who is out there to help other people. Patients and their family feel very vulnerable when they come to the hospital or the clinic. They're often anxious and scared, and they feel helpless. As a doctor, you can make a huge difference to their lives by being the source of the answers and by being the support they need. There is nothing more rewarding than the thank you you get from the patient and their family. On my desk, I still have the thank you card from my patient's family, which I received 3 years ago. You really make a profound difference in people's lives, and it truly is extremely rewarding being a doctor. Reason number 4, job prospects. Now onto something a bit more practical. Job prospects are quite good as a medical graduate. This is particularly true if you're a domestic student. search unemployed graduates and you will very quickly find that even with a tertiary education, employment in a career is still not guaranteed, and in some fields a very large number of graduates struggle to find employment. This was actually one of the many reasons I took into consideration when I gave up my dreams of being a rock guitarist. One day it dawned on me that I may very well end up jobless and homeless if all I knew how to do was play the guitar. So I thought about where I would be needed. Then I thought, sickness will always be there, and the world will always need healthcare. In 2012, when I was graduating, as a medical graduate in Victoria, a domestic student who graduates from a medical school in Victoria was guaranteed a job after graduation. Of course, this is a job anywhere in Victoria, so many graduates had employment in rural hospitals. With the increasing number of medical schools and the number of graduates, this may change in the future. But the fact remains that there still exists a shortage of doctors, especially in rural communities, and this will keep the job prospects favourable for the recent graduates. Now, here's a bonus segment. Well, what about the money? Well, doctors can earn a lot of money, and there is no denying that the 3 highest income earning occupations in Australia in 2016 were surgeons, anaesthetists, and internal medicine specialists. But the numbers can be deceiving when seen in isolation. What really matters is the concept of relative income. If you can make $1 million a year, but you had to work 20 hours a day, 6 days a week, being confined to a very isolated location, what does that do to the actual value of that $1 million? I'll go through this in more detail in my video in the common myths about being a doctor, so check that out for more information. Being a doctor can get you money, but that won't necessarily make you rich and happy. This is a bad reason to pursue medicine. So there you have it. I went through 4 reasons why you should consider medicine as a career and 1 bonus bad reason for considering medicine. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions or requests for future videos. And please subscribe so you don't miss any new uploads. This has been Raf from RP Med. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.